Hi everyone, my name is Nika. Welcome to another Disney adaptation. The Disney movie that I'm going to talk about today is Peter Pan. Now I'm going to talk about the Disney movie Peter Pan. Our story starts on a small street in London in a nursery where the Darling family lived. Mrs. Darling believed that Peter Pan was the spirit of youth. Mr. Darling, however, was a practical man. Their two sons, John and Michael, believed that Peter Pan was a real person. So did Wendy, their eldest child and only daughter. Mr. Darling was getting fed up with the lack of practicality in his kids and decided that Wendy was getting too old to stay in the nursery. That night, the children were visited by Peter Pan himself. Peter invites them to go to Neverland with him. So they flew second star to the right and straight on until morning to the island of Neverland. Neverland was home to Captain Hook, his first mate Mr. Smee, and the other pirates. Captain Hook strongly dislikes children, especially Peter Pan, because one time Peter cut off his hand and flew into the sea. Captain Hook wanted to seek revenge on Peter. Plans were interrupted by the arrival of Peter and the Darling children. Tinkerbell was jealous of Peter's attention to Wendy because she has a crush on him and is jealous of any girls who get his attention. Tinkerbell decided to kill Wendy so Peter would pay more attention to her. Thankfully, Peter saved her. Then, Peter took Wendy to see the mermaids in Mermaid Lagoon. When John, Michael, and the Lost Boys were walking through the forest, they were captured by Neverland's Indian tribe. The chief of the Indians sent them to capture them, and Peter took Wendy to see the mermaids up close. The mermaids enjoyed tormenting Wendy, but are terrified of Captain Hook and flee at the sight of him. Captain Hook was the person who actually kidnapped Princess Tiger Lily. Peter rescues Tiger Lily and takes her back to her home. Then, the Indian chief honors Peter for rescuing his daughter. Meanwhile, Captain Hook has captured Tinkerbell and tricks her into revealing where Peter's hideout is. Peter being honored by the Indian chief leads to him becoming Chief Flying Eagle. Peter and the Lost Boys were having fun, but Wendy, John, and Michael wanted to go home. Captain Hook and his pirates found Peter's hideout at Hangman's Tree and left a present for him. But this present was actually a bomb. Peter didn't know that, but Tinkerbell saw everything and snatched the present from Peter's hand before it could explode. Captain Hook and his pirates captured Wendy, John, Michael, and the Lost Boys. He threatens to make them walk the plank if they don't join his crew. When Captain Hook was defeated, Tinkerbell sprinkled the ship with pixie dust and turned it into a flying ship. Then, Peter flew the ship back to London. When they were home, Mrs. Darling saw that Wendy wasn't in her bed, but by the window. Wendy told her mother about her adventures in Neverland. Mrs. Darling showed Mr. Darling a cloud shaped like a ship, and he says he saw the exact same ship in his childhood. The end. Now I'm going to state the similarities and differences between the Peter Pan book and the 1953 animated Disney movie. So in the book, Peter is much more violent and unalives the children when they grow older, but in the movie, he's a more sympathetic character. In the book, Tinkerbell communicates through fairy language, but in the movie, she communicates through body language and facial expressions. In the book, there are darker themes and characters actually die, but in the movie, there are lighter themes and it's more lighthearted. In the book, Captain Hook and the pirates are genuinely dangerous and terrifying, but in the movie, they're more comedic. In the book, it has more psychological depth, but the movie is more family-friendly. The similarities are that Peter is the boy who never grew up, they both have Mermaid Lagoon, an Indian tribe, the Lost Boys, and in both versions, Tinkerbell is jealous of Wendy. That was the Disney adaptation of Peter Pan. So if you liked this story, be sure to like and subscribe.